Hi everyone, welcome to Mediumship by Picasso. My name is Picasso Roberts and I'm glad you're hitting my channel up. I'm glad to have you here and listening. I hope that you don't forget to like it if you like it, and for sure please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, it's free, and it's a great way to support this channel for me, and so I can stick around and put a lot more energy into it. And share, so that other people get to see it too, and that way it can build a community. Yay, good for us. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, a special subject, is psychic and mediumship. I want you to understand the difference between psychic and mediumship. So that's what I'm all about today. That's what I want to talk about today. When I'm working psychically, or when you are sitting in front of a psychic, I want you to know that the focus is going to be all about you. The psychic is going to plug into or tune into your energy. It's going to be about you, about what's happening in your world, and that's relationships, finances, career, family, all of those things about you and what's happening with you. I love it when a client comes to me with questions, and oftentimes I will tell them, look, write down some questions before we do our reading, because you're going to forget. We're going to get into the read and you're going to forget. And then you're going to go, well, shit, I didn't get to ask about this or that or the other thing, because, we got off on a tangent about whatever spirit wanted to talk about. It's better if you don't just leave it up to spirit. I mean, spirit's going to give you what you need anyway, but know what you want. Know what you want out of the read. And so that way you don't walk away from a reading going, well, there goes that money, It's important. It's important to be able to get out of it, something that you can take with you and hang on to for a little bit and help give you that guidance. Now, what I did not know before I got into mediumship is that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. So what that means basically is when it's all about the energy. So when I'm working psychically, I'm going to be bouncing around, but sorry about that. So when I'm working psychically, it's all about you and your energy, and you're right in front of me. Now, whether you're sitting physically in front of me or on a Zoom call or whatever, it doesn't matter, because I'm plugging into you. That's you. That's right here. Now, mediumistically, if I'm working with your loved ones from the other side, or your spirit guides, or whoever it is that we're working with on the other side, that energy has to come up, because we're dealing with a different realm, a different type of energy. So instead of being right here where it's just about you and what's going on with you, I got to come up to like way up here, like even higher, like way up here. Now we're bringing in your loved ones from the other side. They're coming in as energy. So they don't have the physical body, but they have their energy. So what's happening is they're coming in and they're blending with me. It helps me tune into who they are, and I get a sense of what their personality is, or what evidence they want to bring forward. Maybe they want to talk about that cheesy looking suit you wore the other day, or what your silly diet is, or that crappy boss that you have, or whatever their comments are. We get some information, and then whatever that is, we hang there and give you the information that you need, whatever message is that they need to get across to you. So the difference between a psychic and a medium is blending with that energy of your loved one on the other side. A psychic is blending just directly with you. So, make sense? Now, I never knew what to ask for for a reading, what the difference was between a psychic and a medium. And that's one of the reasons why I want to bring it up. I think it's important for people to understand it. There's some really great psychics out there, and there are psychics that are doing some phenomenal work, psychic detectives, people that are working on helping solve cold cases and missing persons and missing pets. The coolest thing about doing this work is that working with the energy, it's not tangible. I can't hold it in my hand. It's very flowy and ethereal, but evidential at the same time. So it kind of freaks people out when, you give them information. They're like, oh, well, how did you know that? Well, look, I'm plugging into you. I'm listening to what's going on, what spirit wants you to know, and your guides want you to know. So expect that. That's the kind of thing that you should get. Just know that every psychic is not 100%. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like, you take away what you need, what you get from it, what makes sense to you, and then just drop the rest of it. If it doesn't make sense to you, it might down the road. You can make notes or have a recording or whatever, but it doesn't have to make sense always right at that moment. So let me just give you an example. Years ago, when I used to go to the Cape up in Massachusetts with a friend of mine, and we went to a reader out there, and it was the whole dark room thing and whatever. And she would go into the reader would go into this kind of trance. But we had a tape recorder, everything was getting recorded. And in one of the last reads that I got from her, she mentioned whenever I found myself in a situation where there were all these blown glass things around me, that I would know that I was home, that I would know that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Okay. When I listen back on that several times, I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what that means. But I didn't really completely blow it off because I don't know, it just kind of stuck in the back of my memory. And don't you know that, I don't know, probably maybe a year or two later, it was a couple of years later, that I was getting my attunement for Reiki 1 and 2, Usui Ryoho Reiki 1 and 2. Everything about this particular situation fell into place, how I met this Reiki master and how I came to learning about Reiki and wanting to get an attunement and be a practitioner and like that. You can if you read my book, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about, better than what I'm explaining it now. But here's the thing. At the beginning of that class, we're sitting around. I realize that this Reiki master has all of this blown glass on her patio, and it's beautiful. And she was a glass blower. In her earlier days, she would blow glass, and I have to say that the light bulb went on. Now, this is years later that light bulb went on, and I was like, holy shit, that reader was right. I immediately had this rush of energy come through, which now I know was spirit going, yep, okay, we're doing it. You're on the right path. This is where you're supposed to be and all that kind of stuff. But immediately I started, bawling, not hysterical bawling, but tears rolling down my eyes. And it was joy. It was joyful. It was joyful. And it was really cool. I embarrassed myself, of course, because I had to explain why I was crying and, that sort of thing. But then I got my shit together and paid attention in class. But things can come full circle. So when you get a read from a psychic, it can be immediate. That information can make sense immediate. Most of it does, usually. But every now and again, it'll be that thing that comes in later, that it's like a signpost, and very good to have psychic reads, and get your reader, get your person that you're comfortable with, that you understand and you're not afraid to ask questions and all of that. And then I like the idea of having somebody who can do both, but it's whatever you need is okay. So as long as you're comfortable and you're getting the good information and all that kind of stuff. So every reader's different, if they're working psychically, let them do their work. If you have questions, ask questions. I always have questions, and I write down my questions ahead of time and make sure that I get that information that I need before I leave. So my reads are 90 minutes. So I used to do 60-minute reads, but I don't do that anymore because it's not enough time. So by the time we sit down, get started, a 60-minute read turns into 45 minutes or 40 minutes, and all of a sudden the time's out, and you're like, well, what the hell? I need more. And so that's why I do 90 minutes, and it's a great integration of everything that's going on. One of the other things that I want to cover here is, what do you do if you're a psychic and you don't know what to do with it? Or what do you do if you're getting visitations by other people's peeps and you don't know what they want? I'm here to tell you that if you're psychic and you're not sure what to do with it, get a mentor. Get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor. Somebody that you can learn from. Take classes so that you can understand and hone that skill that you already have, that gift. It is a gift. Some people say, no, it's a pain in the ass, but I don't know. I think it's a gift to be able to help other people in that way. It's a kind of a healing thing to me. I think it's important. Same with mediumship. So if you're getting visitations and you don't know how to set boundaries with spirit, and you're getting these visitations in the middle of the night and they're waking you up and blah, 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 and whatever. Set boundaries. Set boundaries, set boundaries, set boundaries. First and foremost, get a mentor. Learn from somebody who understands and knows evidential mediumship. There's a difference between just mediumship and evidential-based mediumship. So the difference is, I could say, hey, your grandma's here and she loves you and she's hugging you and, just basic general stuff. Well, that's not really proof that's your grandma. So evidential-based mediumship would be more like, hey, so I have a woman here. I'm hearing grandma for her. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. She's showing me this, she's showing me that. There's a month of significance, there's this. She's showing me a place that you and her hung out together, or she did this with you, or we did this, but lots of information. Not just, sometimes they'll let you know how they died. So you can do that. For me, I feel everything. They make me feel how they passed, if they want to, or they'll give me little signs and symbols and things like that. And along the way, I've learned what certain things mean. So, and then you and I will work together to decipher, who this person is. I know what she feels like, and I know what she's telling me. And, then you would have to go and validate. You just say, yep, she died like that. Oh, yep, October was important. Oh, yep, yes, she cooked me this, or she did that, or, yeah, she was more like mom than she was grandma. All of those kind of things. So that's the difference. I hate wasting money on a bad read. It's just the same to me. It's like I hate wasting money on bad food, like going to a restaurant and having and paying for a crappy meal. Are you kidding me? Pisses me off. But it even pisses me off more if I go and get a read and it's so general that, what the hell? Drives me crazy. But so I know I won't be going back to that person. Find somebody that you're comfortable with. Get your mentor who's got a good reputation for teaching beginners. Find somebody who's been around the block a while. Find somebody who is doing this as their profession, solely their profession, so that they wouldn't be here this long if they didn't have that, that street cred. You know what I mean? I have learned under people. No, I take that back. Let's go back. I have taken classes by locals who claim to be evidential-based mediums. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. And then I learned to listen to spirit, and they guided me towards people that were actually evidential mediums, and they've been in the business for a long time. It can be a little more expensive, but was it worth it? Yep, it was worth it. And it helps to build your confidence when you're learning from somebody who knows what they're doing and who has taken the time to create courses and help you hone the skills that you have naturally and organically. Everyone's going to be different. I speak a lot differently than some of the other mediums, and it's just who I am. I move around a little bit more, or I'm not as quiet, or whatever, Everybody's in a different place, and everybody teaches differently. I can teach some of the basic things. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with teaching pendulum work because I started out doing pendulum work, and they call it dowsing, back in 2005 when I started working with the energy. And I'm comfortable with those kind of things, and I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I'm comfortable teaching Reiki and doing attunements. I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very comfortable with teaching the Michael Teachings course, and because I've been doing that for quite a long time, I'm confident with that. I'm comfortable with working with Michael. I spent the time with people who knew what they were doing. It's very important. It's very important to do that. Now, if you want to try out your local people, I think it's great, and do that. But if you feel like you're beyond them, step outside of that box. Please step outside of that box, because you're just wasting your time. Just raise the bar for you and for where you want to go. So whatever it is, but learn, and you will constantly be growing and learning. Hang on, I need a little sip of tea. Anyway, so I'll get off the soapbox. Bottom line is, when you want to step into learning more about how to deal with the gift that you have, how to set boundaries with spirit, or how to use your psychic abilities, always remember, operate ethically and with integrity. It's not okay to just nose into people's lives, pop in front of them and read them without asking permission. Always ask permission. Always ask permission. You will not see me jumping in front of somebody on a street saying, hey, your uncle is here from the other side and he wants to talk to you, or your mom's here, or whatever. Look, that's I've only crossed that line once, and only because that spirit would not shut up, and I asked permission before I gave the information. And it was in a DMV of all places, and it was a DMV that I didn't typically go to, so I know that message needed to get through. The spirit would not stop. So I asked permission, gave her the message, quick, concise, and then I said, "Are you okay with that? I can leave you with that?" She said, "Absolutely." I said, "Did it make sense?" "Absolutely." And she was crying, so I know that she needed to hear that message. But am I going to go up to somebody in the grocery store? No. Do I read my colleagues without getting permission? No. If I get a nudge and they're asking, yeah, I'll do that. But no, it's not okay. So always operate ethically. And learn your history, learn where things started. Who were the people that came before you? Albert Best, Gordon Higginson, the Fox sisters. There are so many. Learn your history, learn where it started, learn where things came from. There's one more thing that I'd like to say about getting mediumship readings, and I'll probably cover this again, but when a medium brings in a loved one from the other side, and it's somebody that you don't particularly want to hear from, I would ask you to please rethink that. They're not going to bring in somebody who's going to be hateful to you or mean to you. We drop that stuff when we transition. All of the things that we did before we cross over, we have to answer to those things, how we make people feel, the experiences that we've had, if we acted poorly or, had a rough lesson, and, you have to process those things. But there are sometimes, and I've had a shit ton load of them, let me just tell you, of people that have come through for me that I did not want to hear from. But what I learned is there's healing in allowing that message to come through. Oftentimes they're coming through with an apology, with accountability, with a, I am so sorry and I am so proud of you. I know that I did wrong, or I know that I could have done better. That sort of thing. Allow that to come through if you could just stand it, please, because that's going to help you heal and it's going to help them heal. So give them a chance. You don't have to have your whole read, and if it really freaks you out, you can say no. You have that right. But I would say consider it. Consider allowing that message to come through. Consider allowing that accountability or apology to come through. You'll be better off for it in the long run. So anyway, that's that in a bag of chips. Let's see. I don't know. I think I've rambled enough. I'm glad you guys are here again. I'm glad that you're stopping in to learn a little bit about what's going on in the world of psychics and mediums. And there's so much more to come. So I'm fixing to get things organized here on this channel so that you can learn more along the way. Please always come in, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Share it so that other people can do that and help boost the community. I'm doing this full time because this is what I'm doing for a living. So I want to make sure that what comes on here, you get something out of it. Hit the subscribe button. And I'm learning to do that with the channels that I watch also. So lots more to come. You can, if you want to get notified, there's a little bell thingy that you can click on, and then it will notify you when I've posted something, when I've uploaded a new video. Soon I'm going to learn how to do the interview thing on YouTube, so bear with me in my learning process. Always feel free to comment, or if there's something you want to talk about or learn about, stick it in the comment section. You want to know about crystals? Hell yeah, I'll talk about crystals. You want to know about Reiki? Hell yeah, I'll talk about Reiki. Whatever it is, animal communications, that seems to be a really big thing for me lately. So you have a missing pet or a missing person, or things like that, you could put it in the comment section. Like, subscribe, bell thingy to get notification, and that's all you got to do. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I so appreciate you. So have a great rest of your day. Until next time. Ciao.